So something's going on a Bert show, and you never got closure on it, or we never got closure on it. You remind us via email, and we call that Follow-Up Thursday. This one came from Monica Kreber, who says, in January 2020, I believe, girl called in for a texting tutor session because her parents were divorced and her dad was threatening to not pay for her wedding if she allowed her mom's new boyfriend to be in attendance. When you guys were helping her text, I think she also got in touch with her mom, who initially told her not to worry about it and that she would handle the dad herself. Do you guys remember all that?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Okay.
Here's your recap. If you're like me and you just vaguely remember.
This one's going to be a long one.
I know it is.
Okay.
Whew. We first spoke to Sarah on January 31st, 2020. Sarah was getting married at the end of that February. Sarah reached out to us warning us to be, oh man, it's going to be a day. Sarah reached out to us wanting us, Jimmy's teething, and it's been rough.
It's a rougher day for Jimmy, isn't it?
What did I say?
Teething?
Oh, yeah, it is a rougher day for me. At first, I thought I said, did I say
Honey.
Bart is teething?
Oh,
And
Oh,
not Jimmy
no.
teething?
Jimmy. Oh, honey, you're tired.
Oh, mommy tired.
He cried and fussed all day yesterday. That's just not like him.
Do you just want to take a nap under the table?
I do.
I can do this.
Okay. Sarah reached out to us wanting us to be her texting tutor to help text her mom and to talk mom out of bringing her boyfriend to Sarah's wedding. Sarah's dad was paying for Sarah's wedding. Half the money had been paid. The remaining balances were due to the wedding vendors, one of which was her wedding reception venue. Dad told Sarah he refused to pay them if Sarah's mom was bringing her boyfriend to the wedding. Sarah's mom said she would call Sarah's dad. She did, and it did not go well. Dad was fed up. Sarah found out her mom actually did cheat on her dad with the guy mom was planning to bring to the wedding. Sarah asked mom if she could just come to the wedding and not bring her boyfriend. Mom said she'd had enough, and if he couldn't come, then she wouldn't be there. Sarah went back to dad, who once again said that if mom's boyfriend is there, he wouldn't be there. So essentially, both parents threatened not to come. Sarah had to figure out how to pay the outstanding balances for all her vendors. She was able to push the due dates back a week. I called it gross and said Sarah's parents were using her as a divorce trophy to get back at each other. Davi called it the opposite of co-parenting and said the option was still on the table to kill the mom's boyfriend. Just kidding. Bert and Mo saw dad's side in this, but wished dad could be the bigger person about it or have mom let her boyfriend sit this one out. Yes, mom cheated, but we don't know what happened in mom and dad's relationship to get her to that point. I suggested mom, dad, and Sarah all go to a family therapist. Davi suggested eloping and let dad lose all the deposit money. Mo and I joined Team Elope, and Bert agreed eloping was the only way out of it all. So whatever happened.
Good God. I mean,
got
as a guy that is trying to plan a wedding right now, just the fact that now this is leading to group therapy between mom, dad, and the bride here is so exhausting. I'm with you, Davi. Elope.
That's your nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Like conflict resolution. No, please, no.
Update. Hi, Bert Show. Gosh, it's been so long. Yes, our 2-year anniversary is coming up soon. It's been an interesting 2 years, that's for sure. I'll tell you, starting a marriage in the middle of a global pandemic isn't the most ideal. After all the drama of our wedding, we were looking forward to our honeymoon, which was actually going to be a few weeks after our wedding. Unfortunately, it ended up getting canceled. My fingers are crossed that we will finally get that honeymoon next month. 2 years late. However, now it won't just be a honeymoon, but a baby moon also.
Okay.
Congrats.
Well, let's read on, in Bert Show style. It might not be her husband's.
Oh,
so
stop
don't be too excited yet.
As for the drama surrounding my parents and our wedding, unfortunately, nobody was willing to bend on their stubbornness, and I am still not over it. Being 2 years removed from the situation has not made my anger any less. I understood each person's position. However, the fact that neither of them was willing to set aside their anger, resentment, or need to prove a point was infuriating. These selfish desires to be quote-unquote right were more important to them than me, and I don't know that I can forgive that. To be honest, I've hardly spoken to them in the last 2 years.
Damn.
As for the wedding day, my husband's parents ended up paying the full balance of everything due. They didn't want my family drama to cause us any more pain or ruin our wedding day. Needless to say, his family doesn't quite like my family. I ended up telling both my parents not to bother coming. It caused another huge fight, especially with my dad, since he had already paid a big amount already. My father-in-law ended up getting involved, writing my dad a check for the full amount he had already paid. Apparently, the check was never cashed, but my dad did end up skipping my wedding and decided to take a trip with his new girlfriend instead.
Damn.
Wow. My mom was also furious and ended up showing up anyway. I had a brief confrontational moment with her and told her that she could stay if she just left me alone. Otherwise, we would call the police to have her removed. She ended up leaving on her own. So needless to say, my relationship with my family is not what it should be. At some point, I hope to feel differently and more forgiving. I'm just not there yet.
Girl, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Our potential guest list just got a little shorter, a little smaller. There. Too many people, too much drama, man.
Opens your eyes to a lot, but just be grateful. The family that you've married into is so kind.
Right.
Like the father-in-law writing a check, just I want the drama dissipated. Like just take the check, and that is awesome.
How come parents never realize it, or don't realize this in a lot of cases, is that your kids had nothing to do with your divorce, man. It doesn't matter if they're 2, if they're 6, if they're 12, or in this case, whatever, 26 years old. You guys got divorced. They shouldn't be the victim of that. And they still are and she still is all these years later. It's jacked up.
Facts.
The Bert Show.